Welcome to December, folks.
This is behind Cooper, who brought it in, pitched it back to Allen, and get in!
So, with December now upon us, how about we dive into our Week 14 edition of the 2024 NFL Power Rankings. Number 32, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 32. The Giants couldn't even beat up a helpless Dallas Cowboys squad that hadn't won a home game all season. That is just how ugly this has gotten for Big Blue. Oh, if only they had someone like Saquon Barkley on their roster. Number 31, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 31. The Jags kept it close against the superior Houston Texans, even though Trevor Lawrence was knocked out of the game with a concussion. But, yeah, it is hard to find any positives in another uneventful defeat. Number 30, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 30. The Raiders were oh so close to upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead for the second straight year, but Aiden O'Connell's admirable effort went to waste on a botched snap with the team in range of Daniel Carlson's game-winning field goal attempt. Just another example of nothing going right for the Raiders. Number 29, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 29. The Pats nearly upset the Indianapolis Colts, but Anthony Richardson's late heroics handed the Pats another loss. Thus, Jared Mayo's squad dropped their third in a row to clinch a second consecutive season of double-digit losses. Number 28, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 28. Another week, another letdown by Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. What else is new? With the loss, the Jets have clinched a fifth straight season of 10 or more losses. The more that stays the same. Number 27, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 27. The Titans were no match for Jaden Daniels and the desperate Washington Commanders. A 42-19 blowout loss was quite a letdown considering Tennessee had upset Houston 1 week earlier. On the bright side, the first overall pick is very much in play for Brian Callahan's squad. Number 26, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 26. Jameis Winston threw for a franchise record 497 yards in Monday night's road loss to the Denver Broncos. But, of course, that wasn't enough. Consider this your most Jameis Winston-esque stat line. Number 25, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 24. Matt Eberflus's pathetic and inexcusable clock management in the Thanksgiving loss to the Detroit Lions was mercilessly the final straw. The Bears finally fired a man who was a terrible hire of a head coach to begin with.
Wait, can we use all of our timeouts to go help Harper and Zeke?
Well, it's never been done, but I guess you could.
Number 24, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 25. Bryce Young had another excellent outing on Sunday, but since Panthers fans can't have nice things, of course they blew multiple chances to upset Baker Mayfield's Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a tough overtime loss. But hey, you take the good with the bad. Number 23, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 22. The Saints blew another close game, this time at the hands of the Los Angeles Rams, falling to 4-8 on the year. That already means a fourth straight season of less than double-digit wins in the post-Drew Brees era. Number 22, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 21. How can Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase both have MVP caliber seasons, and yet this team will finish with a losing record? Bengals fans really can't have nice things. We're out of words at this point. Number 21, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 23. Well, the Cowboys sure aren't going away quietly. The season has been a disaster. Yeah, no doubt about that. But back-to-back wins against division rivals always feels pretty dang good, regardless of where you're at in the standings. Number 20, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 18. Yeah, stick a fork in them. The 49ers shouldn't have bothered making the trip to snowy Buffalo. That was a pathetic and inexcusable primetime performance in Sunday's loss to Josh Allen's Bills. Not only can you kiss the playoffs goodbye, but they're now the favorites to finish last in the NFC West. Number 19, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 17. The Dolphins' already slim playoff hopes took the final nail in the coffin with an ugly loss to the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Game, set, and match. It's now over, folks. Now at 5-7, winning out probably still isn't enough to make the playoffs. Number 18, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 20. It wasn't at all pretty, but hey, Anthony Richardson's late-game heroics propelled Indy to a heart-pounding road win in New England. And with that, the Colts' playoff hopes are still very much alive. Number 17, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 15. A 4-pick day from Kirk Cousins doomed the Falcons in a 17-13 loss to the visiting Chargers. Now losers of 3 straight, the Falcons have opened the door for the Bucs to swoop in and take the division crown themselves. Number 16, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 19. The Bucs have just refused to die, and now they're in the driver's seat to win the NFC South following Sunday's thrilling victory in Carolina. 2 straight wins, coupled with the Falcons' losing skid, has the Bucs tied for tops in the division at 6-6. Number 15, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 16. 'Twas a great week for the Rams, alright. They kept their playoff hopes alive with a road win over New Orleans and got to watch the Cardinals and 49ers also lose on Sunday. Los Angeles is a game behind Seattle for tops in the NFC West. Keep in mind, they owned the head-to-head tiebreaker and finished the season at home against Geno Smith and company. Number 14, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 13. The Cardinals need to be kicking themselves for blowing a 13-point second-half lead to the Vikings on the road. The upset was right there for the taking, but Jonathan Gannon's group collapsed in the fourth quarter. Sunday's home game against Seattle is truly a must-win. Number 13, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 14. 1 week after losing to the lowly Titans, the Texans barely beat a Jacksonville team that had to throw in Mac Jones with Trevor Lawrence suffering a concussion in the second quarter. The Texans are one step closer to an AFC South division crown, but this is who they are, barely above average team. Number 12, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 12. The Hawks narrowly squeaked by Aaron Rodgers' Jets to extend their win streak to 3. With the Cardinals and 49ers also losing, Geno Smith and company are in the driver's seat and control their own destiny for the division crown. Number 11, Washington Commanders. Last time's ranking, 11. Jane Daniels and the Commanders took advantage of their get-right game against the hapless Titans, cruising to a 42-19 home win that ended the 3-game losing skid. That win puts Washington one step closer to securing a wildcard berth. Number 10, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 8. The Ravens were outclassed in every aspect by the Philadelphia Eagles in their ugly 24-19 home loss. Oh, and the most reliable kicker of all time, named Justin Tucker, suddenly can't make a kick to save his life. Number 9, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 10. It wasn't pretty, but hey, Bo Nix and the Broncos barely outdueled Jameis Winston's Browns in a surprisingly thrilling Monday night affair in Mile High City. Now at 8-5, Sean Payton's squad heads into the bye week with a playoff berth firmly in their grasps. Number 8, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 9. After a sloppy home loss to the Ravens in Week 12, Jim Harbaugh's crew bounced back nicely with a 17-13 victory over the Falcons in a defensive slugfest. They're now 1 W away from securing a winning season, but more importantly, not much closer to locking down another postseason berth. Number 7, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 7. Jordan Love and the Packers carved up the Dolphins like turkey, if you will, in their Thanksgiving victory at Lambeau Field. The Packers also pushed themselves even closer to securing a playoff berth. If they can upset the Lions on the road on Thursday, Green Bay will have a small chance of stealing the NFC North for themselves. Number 6, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 6. Russell Wilson had his best day as a Steeler against Cincy, tossing 414 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sheesh, what a story he's been for Mike Tomlin and company this year. The cruising Steelers also got to enjoy a Ravens loss to Philly, putting them even closer to their first AFC North Division crown since 2020. Number 5, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 5. Sam Darnold shrugged off a sloppy first half and led Minnesota to a thrilling comeback win over Arizona to keep pace with the Lions for the NFC North crown. Winners now of 5 straight, Minnie has a favorable short-term schedule with home games against the Falcons and Bears. Number 4, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 4. Saquon Barkley continued his MVP push with 107 rushing yards and a TD in Sunday's win over Derrick Henry's Ravens. Oh, and the Red Hot Eagles have now won 8 in a row. Oh yeah, these guys are as dangerous as anybody in the push for Super Bowl 59. Number 3, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 3. Quite frankly, we're not sure what to make of the defending Super Bowl champions. Are they due to regress with all these improbable one-score wins, or are the Chiefs just gonna keep finding ways to win? Number 2, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 2. Josh Allen did it all, literally, in the Bills' primetime destruction of the 49ers. The first QB ever to throw for a touchdown, rush for a TD, and catch a TD. If not Saquon Barkley, how can it not be Josh Allen for MVP? Number 1, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 1. No, it wasn't pretty, and yes, they were gift-wrapped that win because of the Bears' inept clock management, but with the way the Lions have been dominating opponents, they were due for a closer game, if you will. What really matters the most is that W. But hey, what changes would you make to our Week 14 NFL Power Rankings? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button button helps out a ton, and you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.